Hey folks, Jordan with TYT Politics. On Saturday, August 19th, residents of East Chicago, Indiana, which is the lead-poisoned city I've been covering for a year, finally met with the EPA. Residents wanted answers to why the response has been so slow and to whether their water is safe. And, like in Flint and elsewhere, the EPA was ready to shut folks down. At the meeting, Scott Smith, independent water contamination investigator, tried to get some answers from the EPA. Scott has done testing in Flint and East Chicago, and recently did side-by-side testing with the EPA in Flint. He wanted to know, well, can people bathe or shower, considering there is no bathing or showering standards? Here's what happened.
Hello, I have an important question, but I need to explain the context first.
All right, let's a little context.
2 minutes. First of all,
well, I'll tell you what, how about asking your question, and if the expert needs more context, then give them the context.
I work with Mark Durno, and we have a joint presentation on Flint as a third party. And it's going to get to bathing and showering. And I'm trying to help, and what I do works as a third party to help bring people together. I'm here to work with American plumbers and pipe fitters.
But you're also using the time.
I'm not trying to disrupt anything.
You're using the time of all of the citizens of East Chicago.
My question.
So please ask a question.
Okay. My question is, I'll retract my question. I'll retract it.
All right, thank you. Who has question number 3? We're out of here. And I guess this is the gentleman who's going to do the 5-minute presentation. Yes, ma'am. Who has question number 3? Yes, ma'am.
Scenes like that have been happening for over a year in East Chicago and, frankly, for over 3 years in Flint, as residents try to get answers to the simple question, which is kind of important: is our water safe to drink? TYT Politics spoke with East Chicago resident and environmental expert Thomas Franks, who was in the meeting on Saturday in East Chicago.
Right now, they're focusing on the USS Lead Superfund site in terms of getting drinking water. We've been delivering drinking water for 8 months to the residents there. They've been giving them filters as well, and we have been working to replace the service lines. So there's 400 homes within the Superfund site that we are going to get service line replacement. However, it's left the rest of the city exposed to the contaminants, because we know it's a citywide systematic problem. So we've been working with the EPA to try to get that to be a theme in one of the meetings, get the drinking water issue. So where we couldn't get Miguel de Toro of Region 5 to speak to us individually anymore, he wasn't dialoguing with the community, we brought him here, or we asked that he be here to speak about what his findings were and what he knows about our drinking water. We also asked that IDEM, the Indiana Department of Environmental Management, to be here as well. So today they had both of the agencies. And the importance of that is both of these agencies, and actually even the city, all these intergovernmental agencies have been disputing, each other's findings, whether the drinking water is safe or not, and what levels is acceptable, and what type of testing. They were duplicating tests in some ways, but not in the same manner. They were using different protocols, testing different things, and we had a problem being able to measure apples to apples. And so what we were asking here as a community was, we were asking to be on the agenda, that we have been in the vacuum of some activity like delivering drinking water. We stepped in the vacuum of getting confirmatory testing. We are now stepping in too. So we are initiating our own drinking water testing throughout the city. That's in absence of a lot of the dialogue that we've been having with the EPA.
And as Scott Smith has found, it's not just an issue of lead and arsenic in East Chicago.
We brought a industrial hygienist, and one of the kind of major figures in water testing, that would be Scott Smith from Water Defense. All right. So what we did is we brought Peter Engelbert, an industrial hygienist here in Indiana, and we brought and married him with Scott Smith of Water Defense. Scott had been working in Flint and other communities. Peter has been working around the world addressing water quality issues as well. So they're spearheading the plan and designing the plan for doing drinking water tests here. We do know that from a pilot program that Scott had done that we have a lot of different metals, barium, cadmium, and a lot of other bacteria in our drinking water that aren't being filtered out. And so we're looking to get those issues addressed.
It's disturbing when Thomas says he's trying to get these issues addressed, because he shouldn't have to. Federal and state agencies should already be addressing these issues, but they don't seem to address them when it involves a poor Black or Latino community like East Chicago is. This goes along with the recent report showing that nearly 63 million Americans have been exposed to water contamination over the last decade. And East Chicago and Flint, just the tip of the iceberg. East Chicago is now over a year since the revelations of toxic lead, arsenic, and other contaminants came out. Flint, over 3 years. North Carolina, the story just broke. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Milwaukee, these are just a few with water issues. We're not going to get better unless we demand better. I'll be back in East Chicago and Flint soon. For now, thanks for watching.